my name is Andrea Ferroni, and I'm going to translate for you some videos I already made in Italian language, because some people were interested, and the automatic subtitles doesn't work so much on YouTube. So the first topic I introduced to a series of videos is about they call Dunning-Kruger effect. Usually the Dunning-Kruger effect is used to try to damage the ideas of other people on the net. So this is why it became pretty famous all around on Facebook, on Google and so on. So every time people they want to demonstrate the ideas of the counterpart is not so good, they try to mention Dunning-Kruger. And if you don't know exactly this theory, and especially how it burned in the past, it was burned in the past, try to look on Google the history, because yeah, you could really laugh about that. And yeah, I show you my idea and how I use this effect to encourage my students to go on with their study. Yeah, the main topic of this argument is how to avoid to get stuck in a certain point of your course of study. So, as you see here, we have the self-confidence, and here we have the knowledge. And this curve describes what happens to any of us. So at the beginning, we in a certain topic, for example Didgeridoo, but it could be even singing, but it could be math or physics or geography and everything. So we are in this point, so we start studying and we have no knowledge, and so we have no self-confidence. Because we know nothing about the topic, we are just getting in and we know nothing. But as soon as we start to learn something, we just understand that we are learning, but we miss the boundary of the entire topic. So we feel very confident because we know nothing, we know just a few, but we don't know the boundaries. Then our self-confidence looks very, very bigger or larger than actually we should have. And so our self-confidence usually in this point is higher, like someone he has a very good knowledge of the topic. So in this area that is called even Mount Stupid is the point where people start to talk, and usually they tell really bad stuff. I don't want to use bad words, but yeah, it's a very confusing period where we have lots of energy. And this is even good, because we have to understand that in this area we can make some mistakes. But on the other hand, in this area, we have lots of energy, because we are falling in love for Didgeridoo, saxophone, math, physics, and so on. So any of you probably understand the meaning of falling in love. You are able to, if you fall in love for another person, you can drive for hundreds of kilometers just to meet him or her. And if you fall in love for an instrument, you can even travel 2,000 kilometers to go to a festival. So, don't think that this area is just bad. It's not true. It's important that in this area, we need to know that we risk to say or to try to explain people or to play something that is very bad, but we are doing it with, they call it passion. But if we we are very stable, we can even think that our self-confidence is overrated. Then, and this is the point where I do want to point out that we have to continue even if we feel maybe tired or bored, and it is the desperation valley. So in this point where our knowledge is better than the previous area, so we made lots of work. So in this area we know more things because our knowledge is bigger, and we also learned the boundary of the main topic. This means that we know that we are in a smaller area, we know few things, but the boundaries are bigger and so big that we feel quite bad because we recognize we have to work even harder than we did in the past. And this is the point where people stop to play music, to play didgeridoo, to play saxophone, to make even sports and so on. Maybe you are a good photographer, or you think you are a good photographer, but then you discover that to be a great photographer you need to spend more money and to follow more workshop, and you have to travel more, and you have not so much time to manage everything. So I have to give you some suggestions. First of all, I recognize that this curve is exactly what I had during several activities. I try to push in my life. So it was the same for the didgeridoo, it was the same for a saxophone, it was the same with making cheese, making beer, and so on. So I always recognize that I feel very confident here, and then I used to give up when I arrived here. The only, probably the most topic I was able to continue is probably didgeridoo and physical acoustic. But then, I would like to give you the same feeling for something that you probably know. And I think any of you tried to make a quite long walk through the mountains, or maybe a very long road by bicycle and so on. So in these cases, when we start, we often say, yeah, I want to go by bike for 50 kilometers. But then after just 10 kilometers, we feel a little bit tired, and we would like to stop if we are not, if we don't practice this sport so often. And after 10 kilometers, we are about here, or in this area. So we are maybe here. We are happy because we are on the bike, but after few minutes we wish to slow down and to arrive in this area. So my point is, don't stop. We risk to jump down the bike and to sit on the ground, but in this case we do not move at all. So we have only one chance, or two chances, to come back on or to continue. But if we get stuck for a longer period there, then nights arrive, and the night arrive, and we have to come back on. So my suggestion is, don't stop, don't get out, don't get off the bike, just continue step by step, little by little, and you will continue to increase your knowledge, little by little by little by little. And there is a reason why this stuff works. Because if you make, maybe in this period, you were able to make very longer step, and so you get enjoyment, and your self-confidence continue to increase. And then, given that you learned the basic stuff, the most complex stuff need to practice more or to study more, and so steps looks very smaller than before. But after a few months, or maybe 1 year or 2 years of very small steps, if you look back and you see all the road you continue to do, even very, very slowly, you will recognize that you had a very, very long way. Okay? So this is the point. Don't give up. Then it is even important to have some ideas to improve and to increase your knowledge and to study in a very efficient way and to enjoy what you are doing. Because if you just study, small steps are really hard. But if you study while enjoying it, well, you could even do maybe a couple of steps more in a week or in a month. And this is important. So I want to give you 5 suggestions. The first suggestion is to listen more didgeridoo music if you want. And if you listen didgeridoo music, try to spend some time to go around on the net, finding some different didgeridoo players. There are lots of didgeridoo players, especially players from the past. There are some didgeridoo players from the past. They are not known on Facebook, for example. But they created something that is very important and that has been used from musicians they are playing at present. Try to listen other kind of music, jazz music, pop music, and so on. Yeah, with listening activity, you should be able to recognize maybe different kind of style of the didgeridoo and a different kind of composing for pop music, jazz music, classical music, and so on. So, if we are, if we used to listen a tune from the beginning to the end, and we try to listen it as the entire form of the song, we should have to change the way we listen to it. So, I suggest you to analyze more the music. How they start the tune. So, is there an introducing, or there is a refrain sometimes, or not? How does it start? It starts with full of energy or very softly? Pay attention how the composer tried to create something dynamic. There are composers, they use, they create music in parts, so A part, B part, A part, B part, like in poetry, and so on. So just look about that. And so composing and maybe styles. So the first point is listening. The second point is trying to record. And I don't suggest you to use really huge system for record your own music. It's enough if you have a smartphone. It's important because if you have rhythms, you can collect them. If you have just 5 rhythms, no problem. Try to record 5 rhythms. I suggest you to record 10 seconds, not more, for each rhythm. So at the end you will have 5 rhythms, and it's something like to have a partiture where you write down notes. It's not important at this point to write down music. It's important that we are able to collect our music and to remind them if we need it. Then, little by little, if you practice and you recognize that a new rhythm that was invented just in that time, record it again. So you will have a 6th rhythm and so on. The first suggestion I give you is try to assembly all the rhythms you have. So if you have 5, 6, 10 rhythms, try to understand if a couple of those goes well together, and so you can move from part A to part B, and so on, and again and again and again. Playing in this way, you will be able to switch from a rhythm to another one in a very simple way, and probably you could even find variation on one of those rhythms, and then in few time you can create a whole song. This is important, and this gives you a lot of self-confidence because of your personal enjoyment. To play a fast rhythm, it's good, but if you are able to create something that get the attention, that reach the attention of the audience, is even more important. Pay attention. The audience is not able to pay attention for 5 minutes of the same rhythm without any variation. So we have to create them. The fourth point is then create your own repertory. It's important because if you are a musician, you need to have a repertory. This time is not so simple to go around and playing on the street or maybe in closed spaces, but I hope we will do it soon, very soon. So if you want to go around, or if you want to make a CD, if you want to make a concert online, it's very important to have a repertory, because no one will ask you to play if you don't have a quite long repertory. You can even have a 30 minutes repertory, but it's important that you are very confident to play for half an hour, and so you can say to the organizer, I can play just half an hour, but this is my best show. Several players say, my best show is 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. Then anyone can play more time, but they risk to repeat their own music or to play music they don't feel so comfortable with. So, creating a repertory gives you even the feeling that you are building something. And the fifth suggestion is to try to run for new roads. So try to experiment, especially if from the beginning we have listened several kinds of music, and so we are free to move and to space around other genre of music. In this case, we can even create more various repertory. So, for example, I don't like to play so much with very long drums, with just few overtone lines and so on. But it can be even useful if I go in a concert and I introduce a tune like that, because there are people, they can be interested in it. So the point is, I try to play in the best way something that I don't like so much, but this increased my repertory. Some people agree with that, some people not. So just try to have your own idea, okay? So from the beginning, pay attention on this area. Don't overrate yourself, because you risk to make mistakes. If you go on Facebook finding your very old post, you will find lots of them. And if you are in this area, please do not desperate. Try to find even friends to talk with, to play with. Just continue step by step. You will go quite soon in this area. So don't stop. And the 5 suggestion: listen more didgeridoo music and other music in an analytic way. Try to record your own rhythm, just a few seconds. Third suggestion: try to assemble your rhythms together. Fourth, try to create your own repertoire with the work we have done before. And 5, when we finished all the work we have already done, we have to try to follow new ways. This is everything for this time. So if you enjoyed my video, please thumb up. If you don't like it, just thumb down. If you have suggestions, if you have questions, please write down or drop me a mail. You will find the contacts downstairs in the information box. And yeah, if you want to be connected with me, I can even put your email in my mailing list, or just follow the channel. Thank you, see you for the next videos.